Now at 6, the spirit of pride is all over downtown Indy. How the festivities are celebrating love and equity for all people.
And boy, what a beautiful day it was for the parade. But now showers are returning briefly to the forecast. I'll let you know how much they'll impact the rest of your weekend.
And a former Indianapolis mayor is making his push to get on the ballot for November. Why Greg Ballard thinks switching parties would draw in more voters. Well, we start tonight with a big weekend here in downtown Indianapolis. Thousands of people are gathered to celebrate Indy Pride. From the parade this morning to events and concerts planned for tonight, it really is a huge celebration. And as organizers tell our Marina Silva, it's also time for reflection.
Here at Military Park, for many, this is a celebration, but organizers also tell me that it's a reminder that the fight for acceptance and equality continues.
Bright colors line downtown Indianapolis on Saturday morning as tens of thousands of people join together for Indy Pride.
This city really embraces the community.
The annual parade and festival, both known for their high energy, but organizers say the weekend also carries a deeper message.
There's always going to be things going on around the world, so my goal is just to stay to the mission, try and uplift the community, make sure they feel safe, connected, celebrated, and do our part where we can.
Volunteers with the Damien Center spent their time at the festival connecting people with HIV resources. The center's CEO says potential federal cuts to these efforts are concerning.
And that is really detrimental because for so long we have been working to reduce the epidemic and stem it. And last year, for the first time, we were able to have lower rates of new HIV infections for the first time ever in the state of Indiana.
This is the first time the Damien Center offered HIV prevention medication at the festival. Other organizations connected attendees with a host of resources.
You know, there's been a lot of attacks on our rights individually, and I think and collectively, and I think that makes it very scared. It's scary for people.
Despite those concerns, organizers say Indy Pride remains a powerful reminder that community, visibility, and acceptance continue to bring people together. Reporting in Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
And the Pride festivities are still going on right now. Performers are now taking the main stage over at Military Park. Artists like Crystal Waters and Todrick Hall. You can also catch performances from local drag queens. Tickets tonight are $15. Really great weather for all of those events this evening. Want to give you a live look at Indianapolis right now. Some high clouds, but my goodness, that humidity's gone. At least no rain for tonight, right, Rob?
Well, you know, I think the humidity's starting to creep back up just a little bit.
Well,
there's a chance for tonight, but I think the better chance is going to be overnight and into early tomorrow morning. So it's going to impact the first half of your Sunday for sure with some scattered showers. Not everyone will see it, but you have seen those clouds certainly continue to thicken up. They started with those high, thin clouds. Now we're starting to see some of the mid-level clouds move in. And when I show you where we are right now with temperatures, you're thinking, hey, hang on, there's not as many 80s there. And it's because of some of those clouds that help to come in and really keep the temperatures from getting much warmer than, say, 80 degrees in many locations. We do have some showers that are showing up on satellite and radar, but notice the overall trend here. These are really drying up as they get a little bit closer. There's still some dry air in place. The humidity did go down a bit, but now it's starting to surface again, and we're starting to see some of that humidity move back in. There are some thunderstorms that are going to be firing up to our west. We're going to watch that area for the overnight tonight, and we could have a chance for some storms during the overnight, especially as we get into early morning. But the next few hours, I think, should be relatively nice. I will put a chance for scattered storms overnight with upper 60s for our overnight low. Here's your Sunday. The first half of the day, chance of showers. By midday, we're starting to change, and the second half of the day looks quite nice. Wait until you see some of the days in the 7-day forecast. There's one day in particular I think you're really going to like.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Rob. We'll see you in a few minutes. Well, a crash in Dearborn County killed a husband and wife and also injured their 2 young children. This happened yesterday on State Road 350. Investigators say a pickup truck crossed into the wrong lane, hitting an SUV head-on. 33-year-olds Jordan and Sierra Walters both died in that crash. Police did not share the conditions of the injured kids in the back seat. Toxicology results are now pending on the truck driver. Tonight, Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting on the southeast side of Indianapolis. Here's the scene. This happened around 10:15 last night on State Avenue. Officers focused their investigation in the parking lot of this Indy Quick Pantry. The victim was taken to the hospital but later died. So far, though, no information about any possible suspects. More than a dozen neighbors in Greensburg are back in their homes tonight after a gas leak caused an evacuation. 15 houses had to be evacuated this morning near Main and Lathrop Streets. Traffic there shut down too. CenterPoint Energy spent the day repairing the gas leak, and the fire department says all roads are now back open tonight. Indy's former Republican Mayor Greg Ballard is trying to make sure he is on the ballot for Indiana's Secretary of State in November. His campaign team set up a tent today on the northeast side to get more signatures. He needs just under 37,000 signatures total to get on the ballot. Ballard is running as an independent in this race. He tells 13 News that attracts voters who don't want to be tied to a party.
Both parties have these purity tests, and they're just so far right and so far left. We want to get in there and be the practical problem-solving type of person, the effective person that citizens used to embrace. I mean, they want it now, obviously, but they didn't have that choice before. Now they have somebody who's got a record of doing just that, and that's what we want to do.
Ballard has until July 15th to get enough signatures to get on the November ballot. Meanwhile, Indiana's Republican convention is next week. That's when the GOP will choose their nominee for Secretary of State. Congressional staffer Max English is challenging incumbent Diego Morales, as is conservative activist Jamie Ridenauer and Knox County Clerk David Shelton. WTHR will be at the convention. We will have complete coverage for you next Friday and Saturday from Fort Wayne. And then whoever's selected will face Libertarian nominee Lori Schillings. The party selected her at their convention this spring. And last weekend, Indiana Democrats chose Bo Bai as their nominee for Secretary of State. Bai gained support from about 60% of the delegates on the first ballot. This is, of course, the biggest statewide race this year in Indiana. And want to let you know, we take a deeper dive into Bo Bai's nomination on this week's episode of Crossroads Politics. You can watch that for free right here on the WTHR streaming app, starting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. 13 News at 6 is here on the WTHR streaming app because the Fever are playing the Sun right now over on Channel 13. The team is really hoping to get a 3-game win streak going on the road. 13 Sports will have a recap of that game later tonight. You can see it on 13 News at 11. Still to come for us here at 6, could peace be coming soon between the U.S. and Iran? President Trump is sharing a new timeline on when he could sign a deal. Rob?
And how about 70s returning to your forecast for high temperatures tomorrow in the mid-70s, and that may continue for a while. I'll show you the 7-day coming up.
Plus, Hoosiers are taking America's 250th birthday to new heights. How veterans are showing them a unique piece of history.